The Happy Venture Readers, Book 4. Let's have a look at the small silver bear who slid from the sky. The small silver bear who slid from the sky. It was 5 o'clock when they got home. Just in time for children's hour, said Dick, as he turned on the wireless. Now today, said the wireless man, I shall tell you another zoo story about a small silver bear. He lived with the moon, the small silver bear. No one knew where he came from, and by the time small silver bear had reached the moon, he himself had forgotten. He just stood there on the white fluffy cloud and smiled. Where did you come from? Asked the moon in surprise. Small silver bear looked surprised too. I don't know, he said. What do you want? Asked the moon. Small silver bear put his ears back, twiddled his paddy paws and smiled again. Then he curled up beside the moon and went to sleep. And there he stayed. The moon grew fond of him, and small silver bear soon forgot that he had ever lived in any other place. He was very happy. He played with the stars, slid down the moonbeams, and bounced up and down on the clouds. In the daytime the sun told him stories. At night his friend the moon shone on his silvery coat and told him that he could stay there forever. I will, said small silver bear. I'll stay forever and ever. And so he might have done, if he had not been so fond of sliding down moonbeams. Every night he did it. He would sit down on the nearest one and go sliding down in the starlight. He would land on a cloud and then climb up again. One night he found a very long moonbeam that went right down to earth. Small silver bear went whizzing down. It was the longest slide that he had ever had. Take care, shouted the stars as he slid past them. But small silver bear laughed and whizzed on till at last he came to the end. He bounced on the roof of a house and caught hold of a chimney pot. He sat still for a minute till he found out where he was. That night it was very cold and the big roof was white and shining. Small silver bear touched the roof with his paddy paw. How slippery it was, just like the ice and much better than moonbeams for sliding down. So small silver bear slid down the roofs all through the night. He was so soft and bouncy that he did not hurt himself, even when he fell off the roof into the garden. Then, just before morning, he climbed back up the moonbeam. He curled up on a soft cloud beside the moon and fell asleep. Now that he had once tried sliding down the icy roofs, small silver bear was not happy with any other kind of sliding. Every night he found a moonbeam on which to go to earth. He slid over the icy rooftops all night while people were asleep. Take care, cried the moon. It's much better to play up here. Oh, I shall come back safely, laughed Silver Bear. He did, every time but one. One night the zoo man was working very late in his house. He lived near the zoo, and it was his work to find new kinds of monkeys and bears and elephants for the zoo. Tonight he was reading about bears. As he read, he found that the zoo had only very few kinds of bears. There were many other kinds in other lands over the seas. He wished to find a new kind of bear. He thought, I will have my summer holidays in a land far over the seas and look for a new bear. Just then he looked up quickly, and there was small silver bear sliding down the icy roof of the house in front. The zoo man rubbed his eyes. There was a new kind of bear. Just think of it, a new kind of bear, a shining silver bear in his own street. What a surprise! At that minute, small silver bear climbed up a moonbeam and went past him up to the moon. He curled himself up on a soft cloud and went fast asleep. The zoo man laughed and said to himself, I have thought so much about bears that I am even dreaming about them. It is very late. I shall go to bed. But the next night, when he was working late, he saw small silver bear again. He saw him whiz down a moonbeam onto the icy roof. He knew that he had not been dreaming now. He said, I shall catch this bear for the zoo. Quietly, he took a ladder to the side of the house. He climbed up and went quietly across the icy roof. He caught hold of Small Silver Bear before Small Silver Bear could think what it was. Oh, what a surprise! Now he was caught. Poor little bear. He moved about and kicked, but he couldn't get away. Next day he was taken to the zoo and left by himself in a big wooden cage. He was given some soft straw on which to sleep. The zookeepers were kind to him. They gave him honey and bran to eat, but Small Silver Bear didn't like it very much. His name was written on the cage. People came to read it and to look at this new kind of bear. And on the picture of the bear in the cage it says, Small Silver Bear who slid from the sky. As I said, people came to read it and to look at this new kind of bear. But Small Silver Bear curled up under the straw, and no one but the keeper saw him. He was a very unhappy silver bear. Only at night he came out, and then he sat in the corner of the cage. He was very sad, and he longed for his home with the moon. The moon was sad and unhappy, too. The moonbeams missed their friend, whizzing down on them to earth. The clouds missed Small Silver Bear's bouncing, and the stars were unhappy without him. Cheer up, said the sun. I'll find him. He shone brightly next day, peeping in all the houses and sending light into the darkest places. But the sun could not find Small Silver Bear anywhere. He peeped in every dark corner. Then he stopped shining brightly, and evening came on. We will look for him, cried the stars, and they twinkled from behind the clouds that night. But they could not find Small Silver Bear anywhere. I shall search till morning, said the moon, and he tried so hard that people on earth said, How bright it is tonight. And then a moonbeam found Small Silver Bear. It shone right down on him as he sat in the corner of his cage, crying for his friend the moon. Hullo, said Small Silver Bear, and he began to climb up a moonbeam. But when he had gone only a little way, the bars at the top of the cage stopped him. He was too fat to push through between the bars. He tugged at them, but they were too strong to break. What can I do? Small Silver Bear cried aloud. Every night after that, he sat in the same corner of the cage, and the moonbeams came to talk to him. But though he shook the gate of the cage and pulled at the bars, he could not get free. This little bear is growing thin, said the zookeepers, and in the daytime he does not even look silver. He just looks dirty white. I think he wants to be free, said the keeper, who gave him his food every day. Then, because he was a kind keeper, and he liked the little bear, he said to himself, I shall help Small Silver Bear. So that evening he left the gate of the cage unlocked. Now the sun saw that the gate was left unlocked, and before he sank to rest, he told the first evening star. The star told the moon, and the moonbeam who came down to see Small Silver Bear whispered to him, Your cage is unlocked. Small Silver Bear pushed the gate. It opened, and he was free. Quickly he ran to the moonbeam, and in a minute he had climbed safely up to the clouds. He curled up and went fast asleep. He never tried sliding over the roofs again, however slippery they might look. He slid only on the short moonbeams which ended on the clouds. Where have you been all this time? Asked one of the stars who did not know. Small Silver Bear looked surprised and shook his head. I forget, he said, but I know I shall never go away again. And he smiled at the moon, curled up on a cloud, and went to sleep again.